Hi, how you doing? It's Richard from Racing Profits Guides, and I just wanted to do a quick course walk around Pontefract Racecourse. I was up there the other day and I did a walk around the full circuit, obviously just over 2 miles. It's Europe's longest flat circuit. So what I've done is recorded a video as I went around the course, and I thought I'd speed it up a bit in this video and just stop at some key points. Really what I wanted to get a feel of was the characteristics of the course and why it's such a testing race course for horses. So you know what to look for when you're looking for horses when you go racing at Pontefract. So you can see here we've gone from the finish line and we're going left-handed. It's basically a left-handed oval. I'll pull this map over for you, and you can see that we've started up here around the finish line and we're now working our way around this corner. Now the first, I'd say this semicircle here round to probably here, which is the 1 mile 4 start. That part there, that's the new part of the track that we're going around here. This started in around 1983. Before that, the course at Pontefract was actually a horseshoe shape, very similar to the York Racecourse, before they made that a full oval. And then they added this section in, this newer section in 1983 to make it a full circuit here at Pontefract. So it's now, as I say, just over 2 miles long, 2 miles 1 furlong around this circuit. So a good long course here. So as we go through, I'll refer back to this map as well, and any annotations or anything I need to draw on there to illustrate anything, I'll use that map. So you can see we swing around this big, long, sweeping left-hand bend here. Let's just speed the video up a bit. So we come sweeping around this bend, and on the left here you can actually see there's a car park here, because the Pontefract Racecourse is actually in a public park. The land itself is owned by Wakefield County Council, and obviously the racecourse is responsible for the upkeep of the course, but on non-race days it's still used, as you can see these cars coming across here, it's still used as a public park. So you'll see there's a boating lake there, there's all sorts of things in the centre of the racecourse. So as we come down here, we're still sweeping round. It's downhill all the way from the finish line here, it's been downhill. And you can see on the left here what I was talking about, the boating lake. Well, the course goes around that. So you come round all the way and it's gently downhill all the way round here. It's a nice long sweeping left-hand bend all the way down to the 1 mile 4 start. So if we just go through, just speed this video up so we go down to the 1 mile 4 start. You can see people using the path on the inside of the course for walking and for running and jogging as we go around. It's quite busy that day. So, and then you can see this is quite a straight part here. We're just coming into, if I bring that map in again, you see here we've come round that long sweeping bend and we've just come to this straight part, which now works down towards the 1 mile 4 start, which was the original start before this new section was added. And you can see there on the right, that's Park Road, coming from the M62, which is over here somewhere. You can see the M62 running over here. As we get down to the bottom end of the course, you'll be able to see it more clearly. As we just go past these next barriers, you can see it's going gently downhill still here, although it's a lot straighter. Then just past this sign here on the right, you can see here's the 1 mile 4 start. This is where the stalls would be for the 1 mile 4 start, and the horses will literally come out of the stalls and be going downhill as they come out of the stalls there. And that sweeps down here and then gets quite steep downhill to the bottom corner. See, it's fairly gently downhill here. And then we're now coming a bit steeper here As you walk it, you can really feel the undulations on the course, and you can see it starts sweeping to the left again as we come down to the lowest part of the track here. And up ahead here you can see on the right, that's the 1 mile 2 start. So we've got the 1 mile 2 start just up ahead, that's where the stalls would be for that start. And if you look in the distance here, you can see the traffic on the M62, that's how close the course is to the M62 motorway. So we've now come round this corner and the 1 mile 2 starts around here. So you get again a nice straight before you come to a gentle bend, and then there's the 1 mile start which is around here, just round that bend. So you can see you get a nice straight from the 1 mile 2 start, so plenty of time, probably a furlong and a half before you start swinging left again. And again fairly flat here. Slightly downhill you'd say, but we're about the lowest point of the course here, and then it'll start climbing up. You can see it's slightly climbing up towards this final, towards this bend here. I think over the years they've held the Lincoln here, they've held the Dante Festival from York was here, held here in the war when York Racecourse was closed. So it's quite a lot of history to Pontefract, and it's a very popular course in West Yorkshire, one of the most popular courses in Yorkshire. Have big crowds here throughout the year. They have race meetings right the way through from April through to October. 16 race meetings a year. They have popular weekend meetings and evening meetings, so very popular course with some big crowds, 9, 10, 11,000 fairly regularly at the course, so popular course. So you can see here we're swinging round to the left again, and we're right by the M62, which you can see here, and that's the mile start ahead. And very similar to the 1 mile 2 start, it's we're now as the furthest point away. You can see the stands in the distance there. If we get to the mile start, it's very similar to the mile 2 start. It's got a nice long straight as they come out of the stalls for probably a furlong and a half before they start swinging round. So you can see a nice long straight here and a fairly flat section of the course again, maybe slightly gently going uphill. And the course really does drain well as well. It was nice condition when I walked around it, but even with the heavy rain they had last summer, there was only a couple of days they had to stop racing. So you can see we start swinging now. This is quite a sharp bend here. If I bring the map in again here, you can see we're coming away from the mile and then we go around this sharp bend. It's nearly 90 degrees around this bend before you come to the 6 furlong and the 5 furlong starts here. And you can see the 6 furlong start just ahead there. So you come sweeping 90 degrees round here. So you'd have to get a positive position here when coming round this corner from the mile start. Otherwise you'd be pushed wide out here, you'd have thought, if you haven't got a nice prominent position. And you can see the 6 furlong start and the 5 furlong start further up. You can see now where the real undulations are and why it's such a testing sprint course here. So the stalls come right across the track here, out to stall 14, and the irrigation system that they use is actually an Upton irrigator that they tow behind the tractor. So obviously it stretches across the track from one stall right to the outside stalls. However, it doesn't actually touch this area of the track outside the stalls, so some of the outside stalls on dry summer days actually have a bit of an advantage, because there's an area of ground here. If the rest of it's been watered and is a little bit, say, good to firm, then this can be quite a fast strip of ground out here that hasn't been watered. So because the irrigation system doesn't stretch the full width of the track, there is a strip of ground here that can be fairly fast. So we know certain trainers would look for that. Mick Easterby's one, who would always be wouldn't mind having a horse drawn out wide in these sprints, and certainly on a dry summer's day, he'd look to have a horse that could get onto this this area. So, as I say, that's just one tip for you about the course here at Pontefract. Don't assume if a horse is drawn out wide, because it's always assumed you need an inside draw to be in the best position in the sprints. Also, keep in mind the weather conditions. If it has been a warm day that day, as I say, the outside stalls aren't disadvantaged at all, really. In fact, they might have a slight advantage of the this strip of ground that hasn't been irrigated. You can see here that it's from the 6 furlong start. It's a long straight up here before you start swinging left, and it's very undulating. It drops downhill here. You can see the way the rail drops down here to the 5 furlong start, which is just up here. So this goes uphill slightly, then downhill again from the 6 furlong start, just for the furlong up to the 5 furlong. Let's get up there. And the 5 furlong start's also obviously the start for the 2 mile 5 furlong, the longest race that they hold at Catterick. So we're here at the 5 furlong start here, but also the 2 mile 5 start. There we are. And this does undulate quite dramatically here. You can see you come out of the 5 furlong, it's fairly flat, and then starts dropping down into this dip, probably around between the 4 and the 3 furlong markers. You can see the 4 furlong actually here just on the left. So you're approaching the 4 furlong and you start dropping into this dip, and this is actually where the water gathered last summer when it was raining heavily. The rest of the track drained very well, and there's just a little bit here that's had a bit of standing water, but it drained within 10-15 minutes of the rain stopping. But you drop down into this dip and then you start climbing back up and swinging left, and really from the 3 furlong point you're climbing all the way to the finish line. So you can see why it's such a stiff test for sprinters over the 6 furlongs and 5 furlong trips. And this is where you need a prominent position as you get on the rail here to swing into the home straight. As you can see, you start climbing up the hill, fairly steep uphill climb here to the 3 furlong pole, and then you swing into the straight, and it's about a 2 furlong finish straight here. You're swinging round to the left, and again a fairly sharp swing into the home straight. You can see the stands ahead of you, and there we are at the 2 furlong pole. You're now into the straight. And I think that shot there illustrates how uphill it is to the finish. The finish is up here by these trees, so it's still an uphill climb even when you're on the finish straight. You're climbing all the way to the finish line where we started the video. There's 1 furlong pole, and then we're coming in to the final half furlong. And then you can see the finish line right ahead there. So you've got the stands and the owners and trainers bar over here, and that's the full circuit. So a long testing circuit, you'd say there, and hopefully that's been useful, and it's something that'll help you appreciate when you go racing to Pontefract the different trips that they have at the course, and why that last 3 furlongs is so testing, and for the sprint races why it's testing as well. Alright, so I'll finish the video there, and look for our other videos on the interviews with the clerk of the course, things like that, for more information on the course. But I just wanted to give you a feeling for the characteristics of Pontefract. Okay, take care and we'll talk to you soon.